Today's lesson is on sections 1.3 and 1.4, writing expressions and equations. Both these sections kind of deal with a similar thing, just to kind of save some time for our year here. So both these sections, again, important because all year long we'll be reading word. So figure out if we have to add, subtract, multiply, or divide in the problem. If you're taking notes along with me, I'd like you to have the section title and the date as always. And also, you should write down these 4 little headings in your notes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all these words down below here in green. I'm going to add those and make 4 columns of there are many others as well that I don't have up here, but here are a lot of common ones that we will see. Starting off, I'm just going to pick out a few here and put them under the heading. And notes. So add, of course, means addition. I can pick out some easy ones here first. Minus, I think we know, means subtraction. So to subtract multiplication, one that we should have seen by now, at least in 8th grade, means when we are multiplying things together and usually getting the result. So the product of 2 numbers, and the quotient. So the quotient of 2 numbers is when I divide them. Adding a few more here to the addition list. Plus or increased by, if I have some number like 8. Means I'm going to add those 2 numbers together. Some more maybe for subtraction. Difference means I'm like if I have 10 diminished by 5, that means I would take 10 minus 5. It's like I'm taking that much away, so that means subtraction. Couple more means multiplication, and times means multiplication. A couple more to add to that list. One other one that maybe is a little different is the word of as well. If you're going to have, just for a quick example, amount. When I take 20% of 30, what I end up doing is I end up changing that percent to a decimal, like 0.20 or actually can mean multiplication when it's used in a problem like that with a fraction or a percentage, and that's sometimes how we will see it. So we'll list that one under multiplication. A couple more for divided by, and actually ratio as well. Ratio, we can think of that like a fraction. And a fraction really just has 2 numbers and a division bar. So that ratio is also, if we say I'm going to put under the addition column. And then there's 2 that I left up there for a reason here that I have not placed, and I think we'll be able to figure out where they go. But I just want to note that all these other ones up here, as I'll show in examples here in the next few pages, all of these write exactly how they read. Like as I've been kind of verbally giving you some examples, like going to the plus 5. So many of the ones in the blue there, all do that same thing. But these last 2 that I've left goes under addition, and less than goes under subtraction. But you should somehow make a note around these, a star. And I'll kind of show that on pages coming up here, but I can even make a little example down here. Many of them write just how they read, but I think I'll make a little example. I'll even do one right now of what happens with more in a problem. So I've written a quick little example up here. 7 less than 12. So there's a verbal phrase. It says 7 less than 12. Well, again, going back up here, all these